Okay, so I want to check in, make sure you guys are still standing after the big energy that we had come through yesterday and last night and continuing this morning. It's this never-ending cycle of big energy that's coming through to wash things clean on this planet. So Spirit's talking to us today, and especially for the empaths out there, because this is going to apply to us as we are considered to be the frontline workers. They're talking to us about energy transference. And so much stuff is coming up to the surface right now collectively, like energetically. Everybody's stuff is purging, right? That's the solar eclipse yesterday. That's what it does. It shines the light on it. Then the new moon is about new beginnings. But you know how it goes when we go through these energy cycles. If you don't do the energy clean up, the clear up, going into the good part just doesn't work the way it's supposed to, right? It's like, we're supposed to be light beings, so we can't be light beings and have so much density. Now, don't get me wrong. We're never trying to become saints or ascended masters, or that's not going to happen while we're in the 3D dense human vehicles. But we're just trying to do our best, right? We're trying to do our best. And because there's so much stuff coming up right now, so much stuff that people are processing, so many life lessons, what's happening is these frequencies are literally like leaving people, and they're coming into others, especially empaths, who are very, very energetically sensitive. Let us know in the comments if you've noticed over the last few days that you're like, Spirit's saying right now, energy interference. So meaning like you're feeling okay, you're feeling great, and then all of a sudden you're not. And this can be physically, like it could be like everything's great, and then all of a sudden you have a headache that just came out of nowhere. It could also be emotionally, like you're just, you're feeling fine, you're feeling happy, you're feeling motivated, and then boom, you're just like having bad thoughts and negative thoughts, and you're feeling yucky. Let us know if that's kind of being, because what's happening is they're saying energy transference. So it's literally like the people around you that you're engaging with, and this includes like the stuff that you watch on social media, right? Energy has no boundary. It's not like, oh, well, I'm watching you on a screen, so you can't transfer any energy to me. No, it can be transferred remotely. It can be, there's no limit to where energy can go. Remind yourself about that. And I just wanted to give you guys this example. It's probably not going to be to the extreme for you guys. And there's not a lot. I mean, over the years of teaching psychic and medium development, I've met a few people who are as sensitive as I am, and they have had these experiences as well. But I think it's pretty rare. But just as an example, so back in the day when I was an acupuncturist and seeing patients in my clinic, I would often get, so if somebody came in with a bad knee, I would often have a bad knee by the end of the day. If somebody came in with a shoulder problem, I would have a shoulder problem by the end of the day. Now, these would clear quickly. Like and it's funny because I was never afraid of them. And I kind of just thought, well, that's kind of funny. But it would clear right away because it wasn't my energy, right? And so there was no part of my brain that stuck onto it and made it mine. It didn't, right? It didn't go, oh, that's what's wrong with me. Why is that happening? It didn't. It just went, oh, that's weird. Why is my knee hurting? I didn't do anything to hurt my knee. Oh, well, carry on. And then the pain would leave. It would clear, right? Now, this happened one time. This is just to show you how powerful energy transference is. I was working on a client who had a broken blood vessel in her eye, and it was bad. Like, it was a bad broken blood vessel. It was all, if you've ever seen a broken blood vessel in your eye, it looks like somebody's punched you and your eye's bleeding out. Like, it's ugly. So I had a client that had that. And the very next morning, I woke up, looked in the mirror, and I had a broken blood vessel in my eye. The same thing. It was bad and it looked like somebody had punched me in the eye. Now that is a severe example of energy transference, and it cleared and it healed. But here's the thing that it taught me, and this is the thing that we need to remind ourselves about this right now, because our mind is so powerful, and the thoughts that our mind is creating around things creates our experience. This is just true because it makes us feel a certain way, right? It makes us believe that things are true, and then it makes us feel a certain way. When we're feeling a certain way, it dictates the experience that we have. So it's really important that when we're having these big energy waves come through, they're literally bringing all the shit to the surface, all of it. And if you are an empath or an energetically sensitive person, you're likely picking up stuff that's not even yours. Now, we don't get mindful about this or fearful about this. We want to get mindful about it. We don't fall into a place of victim energy. And this is the part where, spirits always talk to me about being an empowered empath, right? We're not, oh, poor empath picks up everybody's stuff. Oh, woes, now they have to suffer. That's not the deal. That's not our deal. But what we do have to do is we have to have the awareness of, oh, I'm feeling that right now. It doesn't feel great. So therefore it doesn't serve me in any way. It's not mine because I can't, I didn't have it before. It just came in out of nowhere, right? And what we can do is we can give no mind to it. That's what Spirit's saying. Give no mind to it. Now, because you are in a 3D avatar, you do need to do things to support the whatever you're feeling. This is not a suggestion of, okay, well, if you're feeling a migraine, well, then just kind of wish it away, because that's not going to work. Or if you're feeling really emotional about something, that you're just going to ignore it and stuff it down, because that's not going to work. One of the things that we need to do, and especially those of us who are empaths, is we need to allow things to flow. There's two states that we get into as empaths. We get into flow or we get into stuck. Those are two states that we go, and we can't be in both states at the same time. We're either in one or the other. And so when we are feeling anything to maximum capacity, to the point where it's excess energy in our bodies, where it's making us feel overly emotional, overly sensitive, physically, mentally, emotionally, we have to allow this to flow. It has to flow, because what's happening is it's stuck. It's literally stuck energetically in our body, and we have a very limited capacity as to how much energy we can store without tipping us over, without it knocking us over, being too much for us. So this is really important. They're saying to me it starts in the mind. So this is the part that we have to remind ourselves about, that it starts in the mind. So be very mindful over the next few days, because it's like this energy still flowing, right? Everybody's stuff didn't just go, whoo, oh, the solar eclipse came, the new moon came, now everybody's stuff just disappeared. Now we start from scratch. It doesn't work like that. This is a continuous cycle. It's a never ending. That's why when people say to me sometimes, when's this going to end? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is never ending. It's a never ending loop. It's a never ending cycle, but we get to choose how we experience it. So if there's a part of you that's like secretly holding on for this to be like the land of unicorns and rainbows, then you're perfectly 100% well all the time. Don't give that up, because that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen here. But the opposite also doesn't have to happen. We don't have to be in a continuous loop of pain and suffering. That does not have to happen. So we need to have the awareness of where our thoughts are going around stuff, and that loop. They're just showing me that loop. And so many of us get caught on that loop. And I know for me, when these big energies come through and they're making me feel shitty and I've got a migraine and my body is like not feeling well, And for me, you know, when I feel that like wobbly, the, you know, the geomagnetic stuff, all that, it's very easy for me to go into a headspace of, why me? Why am I so sensitive? Why am I picking up all this shit? Why am I feeling, right? And I can allow myself to do that for a little bit because that's human nature, and there's part of me that is a human. But then I have to say to myself, and luckily my guides step in most of the time. They do like to let me just do my own thing. But I do step in and I go, how's this serving me? How is this serving me right now? How's it making me feel? Are my thoughts around what I'm feeling making me feel better? Are they unsticking me, or are they sticking me? This is what we need to do right now. So having no thoughts around stuff is going to be easier. It allows that flow to happen. This is not being dismissive, though. Do not dismiss it. You can't spiritually bypass this. If there's stuff that's coming up and you're feeling it, and if it's not energy transference, if it's not from somebody else, it's sticking with you. It stays with you. If it's not yours, it's just like the ascension symptoms. If it's not yours, if it's not being created by your body, by your creation, it will leave. It comes and it goes, like it's a wave. It literally comes and it goes. But if it sticks, you know that it's sticking because there's resonance there. So if there's resonance there, you have to pay attention. Does my body need extra help? Does my mind need extra help? Does my spiritual foundation need extra help, right? This is the time of self-discovery. This is this time of self-connection. This is, and I know it's uncomfortable, and I know a lot of people are feeling a lot of stuff, but be mindful of where your thought is around that. Because here's the thing, again, you can't be in the two states. You can't be in the flow and in the stuck at the same time. And in order to see clarity, in order to be like, okay, this is what I need to do, this will help me tremendously. In order to get to that spot, you need to be in the flow, because that stuff only comes in the flow. And so we can unstick ourselves by our thoughts, right? They just keep saying this thing to me. How is that serving me? So ask yourself over the next little while, how is this serving me? How's that thought I'm having around whatever I'm experiencing? How is it serving me? And when we go into the flow more, we bring in more light. When we bring in more light, everything gets easier. Sending you guys huge blessings.